People say, what's the roughest match you ever saw? That's the one. That's, man.
If I could describe that match in one word, it was real.
Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Media Mania Podcast.
It was unbelievable. One of the most.
I'm your host, as always, Mike Weldon. I'm joined by my co-host for the night, Adam Warfell. And we're going to watch along the Dark Side of the Ring documentary about Necro Butcher versus Samoa Joe.
In the early 2000s.
They were two guys at the tops of their own mountains.
Samoa Joe was carrying the flag of pro wrestling.
Undeniably a world champion level talent.
I'm Samoa Joe. I know how to whip somebody's ass.
And then
If you got Joe, they got Joe. Come on, hell yeah.
Who was king of the death matches.
Necro Butcher was the wild-eyed monster of deathmatch wrestling.
When he just punched the guy in the face, the fans heard the punch connect.
Necro would just play and kick your head in. He was also in this movie called The Wrestler.
There's a fine line between madness and genius, and that was Necro.
The mainstream wrestlers, they thought I was beneath them. So when I got Samoa Joe to fight me, I wanted to show the world what I could do.
For Necro Butcher, it was an opportunity for redemption.
What's your opinion on deathmatch wrestling?
This match had an air of danger.
This is not fake. They just
Do what?
What's your opinion on the deathmatch wrestling? You watch a lot of it, or you seen a lot of it?
I actually just interviewed someone from the deathmatch scene. She covers a lot of it. I don't know if you've heard her name through the community, but her name is the Ultraviolet Siren Cakeface Carly. She hosts the X-Brand Wrestling Unleashed podcast, and she covers a lot of the deathmatch scene.
Yeah, I saw your post.
I like watching it.
Right.
It's not everyone's cup of tea. It's not everyone's shot of whiskey, but I like it. Necro Butcher versus Samoa Joe. Here we go.
The world's a dark place sometimes. The world can be really mean. I've had so many horrible things happen to me when I was young, and wrestling became my escape. It was a false reality, a place where no one can hurt me. You know, that's why I get into wrestling. Maybe I could be somebody else's escape. But I wanted to make it more believable. I take incredible amounts of punishment because the more believable that is, the more they're going to get into it. You know, and forget about what's bothering them. My name is Dylan Summers, but you probably know me better as the Necro Butcher. I got into deathmatch wrestling because I wanted to test myself, and I saw the guys in the main event doing death matches. I said, all right, I want to be in the main event, so that's what I have to do.
Deathmatch is.
You asked me my opinion. What is your opinion on the deathmatch scene?
I got a lot of respect for the guys. They always go out, put on a show. When I was doing the ring announcing, the closest thing I saw to a death match was the thumbtack spot, and just it's crazy the stuff that these guys put themselves through, the scars and stuff. I think it was Nick Mondo who like cut an artery, was like just gushing, and I was like, wow, these guys obviously they do it for the love of deathmatch wrestling, but man, there's there's not enough money I could be paid to do one of these matches. I mean, look at that. Look at pulling the glass out of your arm. That just doesn't look fun.
Madman Pondo.
I first saw
another
him on,
legend of the deathmatch.
You ever play those the backyard wrestling games?
Yeah, I've played them, I think, once or twice.
Oh, they were fun.
But before I unmuted, I was gonna say, like, I've heard a story of a deathmatch guy. Like, he was so bad, like, he was cut open so bad, he taped himself up and went back to the match.
So I'd face the wrath of my schoolmates. That was like a daily thing when I was in school. If I had a bad day at school, I was going to watch wrestling with my dad on the weekends. You know, that was what I looked forward to. Well, that was my best friend. And then I woke up one morning and my mother said there was a fire. Or my father was burned up. So you didn't even get to see him at the funeral. You had to close casket. I just really
They always
dove
do this.
deeply
They
into
always pull on
wrestling
the heartstrings.
because something I did with him.
Right.
After that, I was by
There's
myself all
such
the time.
good storytellers on this show, man.
Well, it
Even
was
the
super tough.
recreations.
To my entire school years, bullying is not the word. Like, it was way worse. I mean, punched, kicked, knocked you downstairs. I couldn't tell you how many times my head was in toilets in high school, you know, and I just learned to flick that switch. You know, I just act like I was fine, and I just didn't want them to let them know they were hurting me. And that's why sometimes I can take incredible amounts of punishment. When I flick that switch, you can't hurt me. You can't hurt me. No matter what you do, you can't hurt me. And once I showed him what I could do, I was in the main events to stay.
Necro
To
Butcher,
quote,
man, my dude was carrying the flag for death.
To quote Jim Ross, by God, he's broken in half.
Oh man, that is a nasty spot. All that congealed blood. Like, they don't have showers. That's
Company
outside.
folks, WWE.
No.
That's on TV. But you got guys over here killing themselves, doing independent wrestling. We wanted to show we're different from WWE, doing it our way.
Dissatisfied with mainstream wrestling on TV, hardcore fans flock to the independents, where performers push for fights.
Tangled
Almost
there.
every company, there was some type of death match in it. That is not right. But some people considered it garbage wrestling. Then Ring of Honor came out, you know, hold for hold, hard hitting, all that stuff. Ring of Honor set a standard for independent wrestling with guys like Homicide, Low Key, Bryan Danielson, Christopher Daniels, CM Punk. Then you had Samoa Joe, who was carrying the flag of pro wrestling.
All in.
Although Samoa Joe is a top star today, in 2005, he was still making his name on the indie scene.
There was never a doubt in my mind that I was one of the best wrestlers in the world. Once that curtain brushes past my face and we're out there in front of the crowd, the switch is turned and we're ready to go. My name is Nufalao Joel Sianoa. I'm one half of the war that was Joe versus Necro.
So I got to talk about this. Oh God, Samoa Joe. One of my favorite things about Joe is the nope. It's the Joe nope.
Oh yeah, somebody jumps at him, and he just nopes out of the way.
Yeah, he's like, and he goes off.
It's so simple, yet it draws such a big reaction.
It does. He'll go like just like it's basically a fuck you.
Right.
And you and me.
At the time, I was a consistent main eventer doing death matches. And I said, all right, now what? And I wanted to test myself against the best in the business. But what had gotten to me was that he didn't want no part of that.
At the time, Ring of Honor wrestlers had a reputation for dismissing the deathmatch style, so crossovers were rare.
I always saw this a lot of deathmatch wrestlers. They always felt like they were kind of looked down upon. The truth of it is, you know, guys in ROH, we had our style. You know, we had what we were proud of, what we were doing. It's a very different world. I mean, me personally, I'm down to wrestle whoever. That's never been an issue for me. But as far as like wrestling like Necro Butcher, you know, it was never brought up to me or ever brought up ever. I think the fans probably have more to do with this than anything else.
Before social media, we had message boards where super hardcore, nerdy fans like me would go and they would just talk to each other and talk about matches they've seen. If you went to the Ring of Honor board, it was a little bit like noses up in the air, like all of the wrestling was beneath it. My name is Rob Naylor, and I worked at places like CZW and NXT and FCW. And I, at the time, went on the Ring of Honor message board, and I was like, I want to see Samoa Joe wrestle Necro. And then, oh my God, barrage of angry other wrestling fans. You're an idiot. He sucks. They just didn't want Big Bad Necro Butcher to sully their wonderful organization. But then there was an incident at Chikara.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chikara.
Stepping out of the hardcore scene, Necro Butcher and Madman Pondo enter a family-friendly tag team tournament, putting Necro on a collision course with Samoa Joe.
Chikara was bring the grandma, bring the kids. You're going to have a fun time watching the wrestling. In this lovely little cafeteria.
It might have been a bit weird on paper, but I could not say no because that was my only source of income. I didn't care who these guys were. I was just going to beat their ass. It just so happened that two of them were Ring of Honor students.
Since Ring of Honor didn't want to send someone they were going to beat, they just sent a couple of their students.
I was nervous because I didn't really know who Necro Butcher was. And he's like, we just go out there and we'll just brawl. I didn't really learn that in school.
Tonight it's going to be nothing but curtains for you two.
We were definitely a little nervous. We figured, hey, we got this.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy, we were wrong, buddy.
Not even waiting for the ring introductions to be complete.
He had to try to make a believable match with someone who doesn't know what they're doing. So when they start stinking the place up, I'm just going to beat their ass. I do what I do because this is my job and I need the money. What package are you offering to promoters? You have to offer something different. I think I'm pretty darn different.
Some people
understatement,
were
Necro.
and believed that Pondo and Necro took advantage of the suit.
The Ring of Honor board, forget about it. They were really mad at Necro Butcher. It was only another reason for them not to like him. It's just like, how dare he, that's breaking the code. Oh, he's unsafe.
Oh,
He's reckless.
Oh, hold on. Hold the phone. I gotta mute this for a second. They are unsafe. I would dare anyone who put a comment on anything like that to go say that to Madman Pondo's face or to Necro Butcher's face. Like, let them hit you with the light tube real quick. I don't think you would say that to their face.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the problem with the message boards, especially back then. It's like you would never say half the stuff that you'd say online to these people.
Especially not to Necro Butcher or like to Madman Pondo.
Oh, yeah.
You would die.
He may have felt ROH was disrespected by these guys, and it perfectly set the stage for Joe to face Necro to get some revenge.
The fans bought into it, and they're like, all right, he's going to get dealt some justice via Samoa Joe.
As discussion on the internet heats up, promoter Ian Rotten sees an opportunity.
Ian Rotten here, owner, promoter.
Oh, man.
IWA Mid-South Wrestling.
As an
Ian
independent
Rotten.
wrestling promoter, Ian Rotten had to come up with unique matches. There's no television program to try to really build a story. You have to use the internet. And Ian Rotten was gearing up for his first event in Philadelphia at the old ECW arena, and he needed a big match to fill the seats.
The match that had long seemed impossible suddenly became inevitable. After the Chikara incident, Necro Butcher and Samoa Joe signed with Ian Rotten, and the match is set.
This was the first time that I remember that this legit went down between a deathmatch wrestler and a pure pro wrestler. Here we go.
For one night in Philadelphia, I'm going to have the fight of my life against the baddest dude of all time. I have a chance to just show the world that a deathmatch wrestler could compete with the biggest, baddest in the world. That's all I wanted all along.
This is the Burger King original
All
chicken
right.
sandwich.
I got a commercial. All right. Give me your opinion while we're so far. What are you thinking so far?
I think it's incredible the way that they do these shows, and they not only get fan involvement, but a lot of times, if they can, they get the people who they're telling the story of. Then they get people close to the story. And you just learn so much from these episodes, which is what it is. It's informative. You're supposed to learn, and you're a wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling fan. So anytime I can learn something that happened, I mean, this is 2005. This is, almost 20 years ago. So this has been something a lot of people have forgotten, but I'm excited. I'm excited. They do such a good job of storytelling here to get people amped up for this, that I don't know if there's another, what is this? How long do these episodes last? Like an hour?
An hour.
Like, there's still 45 minutes. I can't imagine what's coming next. How about you?
I would not be surprised if they pull like when I watched the Dark Side of the Ring Jeff Jarrett episodes, they pulled on some people that I didn't think they'd get to come on and talk about their time in TNA. So
Right. They had
Like-
Jeff on there. That's got to be tough for him to talk about that TNA stuff there for a long time.
Yep. Then you had Karen. Karen came on.
Yep.
You had Vince Russo, Jim Cornette, Scott Steiner, Scott D'Amore, and especially Scott, because just in recent memory, how TNA did him, like he has some stories to tell.
Oh, right.
And I don't know if you caught it in the episode, but they put in there that they reached out to Dixie Carter to come on the show, and she did not want anything to do with it.
It's kind of crazy because you're going to be the villain of the story,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you can't tell your side of it. Now, I think from interviews I've seen from Kevin Nash on like shoot interviews and stuff, it's like, well, she might have been taken advantage of. And then once you're taken advantage of and you think you're important, you think you're the main event, it could go to your head. Like it really does. So
Yep.
I get it.
And I don't know if you watched it. It was one of TNA's most recent pay-per-views. They brought Dixie out for just a minute or two, and she was booed right out of that building. Like just booed out of the building.
It's such a bad memory because they were doing so good. They had everything. They had AJ Daniels, Beer Money. I mean, they kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and she sold it out. And they were still, even during that time, Nick Aldis, the world champ there, EC3 was doing good stuff. I mean, there was a time there where it felt savable, and unfortunately now it's, I don't want to say a shell because they're still selling out when they do go to the smaller arenas, but man, the momentum and potential that they had was crazy.
It is. It's crazy. It's just because you don't have half your raw. Like they've had so many people leave
Right.
in recent weeks.
Well,
But
recently too.
Yeah, but like I said, I can't wait to see what they pull out the rest of this episode for Necro and Joe. I can't wait to see it. And I don't know if you saw it for that split second. Someone was typing a comment saying Joe is going to kill you. Basically, I wonder if that's how it came. The little chant like Joe is going to kill you came from.
Yeah, I'm kind of guessing because I don't know where it came from. I know that was a big thing in TNA for a long time.
Yeah. Oh. Joe is gonna kill
Butcher
you.
versus Samoa Joe set. Joe takes to the mic to go after his opponent.
There's some people here who are bullies, and there's some who are fighters. These are ROH students. They were taken advantage of by a bully.
I don't agree with being called.
Did you hear any of that? I couldn't hear any of what Joe said in that mic.
Yeah, these independent shows, man, they were terrible audio. I got some stories about that.
You have no idea how intense Necro
Well, I'm glad
was
I'm
about
glad
that
they have the
promo.
captions.
He
You can
would
just read what he
recite
said.
sentences to me about that promo every day. That affected Necro.
I thought to myself, wow, so he thinks I'm not good enough to be in there with him. Okay, fine, I got this. And now's my chance to make a statement.
The Necro Butcher is dead.
Making reference to Necro Butcher.
So, dude, can I be honest? To legitimately, I look back and I literally knew nothing about all these moving pieces that were a part of it. Like, yeah, I never trained a kid at ROH school a day in my life. Like, I've never watched the match. It was mentioned to me for a promo about, oh yeah, he roughed up a couple of kids at the ROH school, so you're like going to get revenge. Are you cool with it? I was like, yeah, sure. It's part of the show, man. But the more I hear and the more I realize the old Ian Rotten may have been telling people a lot of different tales, trying to get certain
Ian
reactions
still
out of them.
is Ian still
Well, I mean, there
alive
was
or
gossip? You were
I think he's
talented,
still
that
alive,
you're
but
doing
he's not
something that was
doing
beneath
much, man.
him.
He
I
has
don't
such
know
a
if it was
shitty
true or
name in the
not.
business
As a-
after a lot of things have come out. There was like a scathing interview that came out a few years ago. Like, I actually just watched it recently as we were preparing for an episode. And it's like, wow, he got away with a lot of stuff. That just kind of,
Yeah.
back then you could get away with stuff. But yeah,
Mhm.
he's not running anymore. If he is still alive, I honestly don't know if he is or not. But yeah, I know
Because
he's not running.
the reason I'm asking, I'm wondering if he is alive, did they reach out to him to get his comments, like get him to come on this documentary?
I assume so. I think they always save a few people for later.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if he's going to be one of those second half, to tell about how he set it all
Yeah.
up.
Okay.
I had just come back from Japan, having flown all night, drinking. I'm going to sober up. I'm going to get in my 72 Ford pickup and drive to Philadelphia and fight Samoa Joe. I had arrived within an hour of showtime, went down to my little secluded spot, and just waited my turn.
Typically in a pro wrestling match, a referee will check in with opponents. What is the plan finish? Is there anything
What's
I need
up,
to know
Gary?
about? There was none of that on this day. My name is Bryce Remsburg, and I was the referee for the infamous Samoa Joe Necro Butcher match. The
Why did his name
conversation
sound
that I might
familiar?
have had the two of them was definitely
He's,
shorter than 30
he's
seconds.
one of the AEW referees. He's still going.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. That's I'm like, yeah, I know him. Like, his face and his name, just like, why did I not know it was like the one referee I know by name in AEW is Aubrey Edwards.
I'm not a huge fan of Aubrey Edwards, but Bryce Remsburg, such a genuine dude, super nice guy. Big fan of wrestling, which is cool.
Mhm.
And we are ready for a long-awaited matchup.
I
full head of hair
recall
back
being
then.
in the ring before the match started, looking
Mhm.
up and seeing pretty much the whole locker room lined up around the commentary table.
I did commentary with Eddie Kingston and CM Punk. We weren't doing professional commentary by any means. It was just us reacting to the spectacle that we were seeing.
I walked up with a hot dog, sat down, I said, let's do this. It's the match everybody's been waiting to see.
By that point, everybody was foaming at the mouth to see this thing.
I went up to the balcony to watch this and was like, holy shit. The whole building was chanting.
Oh
And as we're
man.
kind of walking around the ring here, you start to hear, "Come up, Joe. Necro's gonna you up."
Philadelphia is just very bloodthirsty. They wanted to see violence, they wanted to see blood, and they wanted to see Joe kill Necro Butcher.
There's the man right there who wears the shirt that says "Choose that."
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch the match after
All the
this.
combustible elements were there. They were just primed and ready to just kick the shit out of each other.
Face to face, they
We obviously know they didn't come here to see any goddamn wrestling. They came here to see a fight. Let's let everybody know that what this is really about. The easiest way to make sure everybody knows it's a no rules brawl without announcing it is, take the rules and throw them over the top rope.
They don't need a referee.
Here goes the ref.
There was already like a bunch of gunpowder in the keg with no referee. It's chaos.
I'm glad they're actually showing actual footage of the match along with the along with the reenactments.
Right.
So I'm glad they're able to do that.
Throw. I said, all right. You have now just set your punishment gauge. He could have done it much easier.
It's all about believability. I want them to think he's trying to kill me. If I want to have any chance of beating him, I want to fight with him on the floor. I want to brawl.
Oh, that's a glory upside down head of the Necro Butcher.
And that is a way you can suck in the crowd. I wanted him to hit me. I was going to fly over the guardrail. But he hit me so hard, I couldn't go over the guardrail. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, here comes Joe. Down goes Necro.
I'm just going to calmly walk over the guardrail now. I sit down and compose myself for a minute after that.
All these fans are moving. They're parting like the Red Sea.
I'm trying to beat the deathmatch wrestler with pro wrestling. I'm using my body as a weapon to try to break you up. It was meant to accentuate that contrast of styles.
Joe was a different beast back then.
With the head
And no, there's the headbutt.
You look at a guy
You
like
don't
Necro,
headbutt
who
a
you wouldn't
Samoan.
want to
That's
be
like
in
a
a fight
rule you're
with,
taught.
and then you
I had
look
a
at
very
Samoa
bad
Joe.
cut
It's like
on my head.
I don't know
But
who's
Joe
more
is
of a
like,
badass.
but Joe, he had a whole different style, and it was just as dangerous.
Yeah, it was like the martial arts almost with kicks and throwing punches, man.
Yeah, but him being a big guy going flying through the ropes like that, that was not very heard of then.
Right. Well, if you look at that, I think it was triple threat at like Unbreakable, him, AJ, and Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, seeing a big guy move like that was crazy. They still don't move like that.
No, it's very rare you see the big guys now do that.
Right.
Like those guys like Joe and them that set the spike that kind of changed it up.
Definitely.
Get him to a place where we could safely do the power slam, or so I thought. You know, when you make people get out of their seat and move around, you run the risk of spilling drinks.
You can see it all over the floor. There was just wet spots everywhere.
So maybe a power slam wasn't the best idea.
He ran at me. I went to scoop him. Now, I don't know if his foot slipped or whatever, but like as we went for the lift, I felt him grab me real tight. He was just stuck to me and then pushed my hips through and he was going over.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it didn't quite work the way he wanted it to.
And we're wondering in the commentary position, how is that physically possible? I've never seen such a thing.
I turn around, I go, Jesus, you good? And he's,
I hear that sickening thud of
Hold on, I'm gonna comment. I'm gonna comment on this. This is my friend Gary. He's a indie wrestler himself. Yeah, Joe is still that dude. He's still that dude.
Oh yeah.
He's like, there's a reason that chant "Joe is gonna kill you" chant has not gone away.
got more violent, more up from there.
What will you do when the power goes out?
All right. So we're almost 30 minutes into it,
Right.
and they are just like I said. It's awesome they're able to get some of the footage from that match and actually be able to show it along with the reenactments, because showing the actual footage, like, you don't see people just sharing it out that much.
Right.
Oh, Gary, you've missed quite a bit.
Yeah, this is a great
Yeah,
episode.
It is. Let me. All right. We just had a viewer asking for capture songs. We just turned them on, so they'll start popping back up when it comes back from commercial.
Yeah, this stuff is incredible. They've done
But,
such good work.
We had another viewer ask, what did I miss? Gary asked, you've missed quite a bit of, like they show basically the build up to what led to Necro versus Joe. So we had another guy just say, Ian is alive. I talked to him 3 days ago. Okay. Do you know if I don't know if you know if Darkseid reached out to him or not, but if you could let us know, that'd be awesome. If they did reach out to him, and if he did say yes or he did say no, I would love to know if he would tell you that. So if you could let us know in the comments, that'd be great. So what have you thought? So like we're 30 minutes in, like, do you think they still got any more swerves to pull on us?
I think so. I think they're gonna pull stuff out. I mean, this is gonna be. I look forward to, and I don't know if they did this, but it looked like Joe and Necro were in the same room there. It'd be cool if we got a face to face at the end of this.
Yeah.
Just a stare down. I think that would be incredible.
From what I understand, Truth Speaker, we're watching it from Philo. We're watching it on Philo, but you can watch it on the Vice channel if you have Vice on your cable package, I believe. And from what I understand, he sold the footage to them. Okay. He sold the footage to them. And as far as being in it, I don't think he will be an interview. Okay.
Onto the concrete.
At that time, we didn't stop. We go until the wheels fall off.
Maybe a normal person would have been hurt, but I was fine.
Oh, that boot definitely did not tickle.
Oh, Joe's wiping the blood off him. Oh, that's a great touch. Wiping the blood off his head and wiping on his chest. The fans are such an integral part to all this. They're so into it.
If you look at that floor right now, you could be any number of bodily fluids. So when things got to the outside, this was Necro's environment. But anytime we were inside the ring, you know, that was my domain.
Over the rail and back they go.
Body languages, I don't think much of you. Arrogant pin, you know, elbow on the chin, not really scooping the leg. But in the face of that, you know, here he is fighting back.
Necro kicks out.
He is not giving up. He is continuing to fight. He puts the arm up. And then the very pro Joe crowd, you start hearing more Necro, Necro, Necro chants. And it's because of Necro selling. The fans get louder and louder.
You won't see it.
Now you have that dynamic.
I don't know.
Fans fighting with each other. They're turning.
Great to hear all these fans right here in a chorus.
I understood what role I played in this. This is somebody fighting against all the odds, you know, fighting to break out of his box in the face of this insurmountable entity.
Off the ropes comes Necro. Connects with the boot.
Joe's weapon is his killer instinct and his ability. Those are just tools. For me, the opponent, the guardrail, the ring itself, those are the tools of my trade. You don't really have time to be hurt because you got to think, okay, what am I doing next? What am I doing next? Oh, yeah, I was trying to find a piece of guardrail I could rip off. I'm going to smash you with the guardrail.
Is that like discussed beforehand? Like
These guys.
No.
No.
He was a good sport about it.
Yeah, it sucks.
Those are heavy too. That's
It's not pleasant, you know. It's not pleasant.
And just slams it on to Joe.
That Necro is blind, also very blind.
I have my glasses here. I can't tell who's who. There's a red light there, red light over there, but I can't see nothing.
He did that, and I was like, geez, I did not expect it.
This guy just swings for the general fuzzy mound that's in front of him, and he hopes that it connects.
I hit him with the perfect punch. Like I felt all of my knuckles hit him right in the jaw. And I thought, I'm going to do it again.
You can see Joe
That's
just
the
getting
worst
like
thing
you
to
saw
do for me.
Joe
Now
like
the
he was
switch turns an extra couple of
Joe
degrees.
was like, what the
I've come to
fuck?
destroy worlds, and this is the world before me, which I must lay waste to.
Before I could do it a third time, I went flying through the air.
Damn, it's on his head.
the concrete floor.
Good God!
Look at that blood.
Look at the blood. You see the blood pouring onto the.
This was wild.
That was the one where I was like, holy shit. That one made me stand up in my chair, and I was thinking about going down there.
What the is that?
Is it possible that you got a concussion right then and there?
But not me, not the kid. A normal man, perhaps.
I think people would find that hard to believe.
That's not going to hurt me. I know what I'm doing.
You know, everybody talks about his
getting
face
hurt
hitting the floor. What they
having
don't
a
talk about
concussion.
is his shoulder coming down on top of my face and the back of my head being driven into the cement. Thought my nose was broken. Thought I'd shattered my orbital. I broke my nose a billion times, so it wasn't uncommon. But yeah, this one put another fracture in my nose. I give him this. At least he looks worse for wear for the whole deal.
There's an old Johnny Valentine quote. He said, I can't make you believe in wrestling, but I can make you believe in Johnny Valentine. No one is ever going to watch that match. Say, yeah, that's all fake. I'm tough enough that I can take that shit. Let's exploit what we have.
Yeah, you call deathmatch wrestling fake, and let one of them guys hit you with a light tube. Let one of them guys like get a pizza cut, like do a Nick Gage, get a pizza cutter, and just put a pizza cutter to your forehead.
My God, yeah. You look at like David Arquette. He had the story on here, the one season, and you saw how serious it can get. You know, you're in there with one of the guys who's been doing this for 20 years, who knows what he's doing. It's still dangerous. So yeah, it takes pro wrestling to another level of danger when you incorporate light tubes and glass and thumbtacks and fire and explosives. It is crazy.
I just fought the Necro Butcher last week. Okay.
Wow.
I didn't know Necro was still going.
It's crazy.
No way. Mickey Vargas? We got Mickey Vargas watching. No way.
Yeah, he's still in relatively good shape too, man. You'd think after so many years of deathmatch wrestling, you wouldn't be standing or walking. You know, you look at some of the wrestlers from the 80s, man, they're having trouble walking, and they weren't doing half the crazy stuff that's going on for these death matches.
Yeah. No, it's just straight, just. And I believe one of the other episodes they're doing this season, I think it's on Big Boss Man.
I wonder what I mean, obviously they're going to probably talk about his passing extremely early, but I don't know if there was any other controversial stuff. Maybe it's going to be that, but that could be 90% of, you know, wrestlers unfortunately passing away early. Like, man, Crash Holly, growing up, man, he was one of my favorites. That 24/7 hardcore championship rules, that was like my favorite thing. And, you know.
Yeah, and then WWE tried to bring it back with years later with Mick Foley being the one to reintroduce it on Raw.
Yeah, the hardcore title. It was okay because at least it was getting passed around between him and Edge. And
Necro Butcher leaves everything in the ring and on the floor.
Now, see, this is what you call long-term storytelling, guys. Remember they had that Chikara match? I suplexed the kid off the apron, and then a month or two later, the master suplexes me off the apron. Long-term storytelling.
So we're going to talk about this for just. There should be a dark side for Test, Andrew. There should be a dark side episode for Test.
Yeah, I remember where I was. I was actually at a wrestling show. And
the way Necro is moving and selling.
Oh,
so
sorry.
Shocking.
It was
at a wrestling show, and it's like, wow. So they had the 10-bell salute that night, and it's like, man, like he was a figure. They didn't really use him, I think, especially early in the 2000s, to his ability, because it's hard. And I'm a big Billy Gunn fan, so it was tough to see those two kind of not used the way they should have been.
Yeah.
In its execution.
I think here I was telling him, put the guardrail up on the turnbuckle. There's so many times in this match where I just said some shit that could easily be misinterpreted. But every time I told him to do something, he did exactly what I wanted him to do.
In those circumstances, I will default to the masochist and let him paint his picture.
His ability to dish out punishment and my ability to absorb punishment is what I based the match upon.
Somebody's gonna die. In some form or fashion, they were reading the same book. I'm not sure they're in the same chapter, same page quite, but to be done even remotely safely involves a breed of cooperation.
The way Necro's looking at it right here is.
Oh, we got another comment. Sorry. This is another from Till 5 Wrestling. My best friend went to my first ROH show with me. He had one rule: Necro Butcher better not touch me. Necro Butcher didn't care.
Yeah, it's not a guy I'd want to fight.
His arm, it just.
Do what?
That's not a guy I'd want to fight. This is nasty.
No. Yeah.
So gross.
And I'm just feeling terrible that this happened to Necro. And finally, Necro looked over to me and he said, "Pondo, would you chill out and cheer up?" You know, he just never complained. It was his chance to get his name out there and show the world exactly what the Necro Butcher can do. And he just kept on going. And
it works. People can register that. People can respect an underdog.
Is he going to get back to his feet? The drama continues to build. It's great storytelling.
Joe with the cover.
It has to be one-sided for the story I'm trying to tell. Too many matches today, they're too back and forth. The fans don't buy the comeback because the guys don't take the time to set the heat the way they need to.
The whole point was, in my head, was like, we're going to put this guy through this carnivore torture that he's wanted so badly for so long. We're going to give him everything he asked for.
That could have been a paralyzation there. Had somebody been an inch this way or an inch that way, that could have easily been a paralyzation there as well.
Cover!
The look on Joe's face is like, what do I got to do to put this
All right,
guy away?
Thanks for dropping by for a
They're
minute.
chanting Necro. He's earning the respect of the crowd.
The fans of Philadelphia going nuts.
All the punishment Necro Butcher takes, he's going to make it matter. He's not just going to blow off any kind of damage.
And they're showing their support for Joe as well. Chop across the chest of Necro.
I wanted to look really feeble and barely on my feet. That's what I was trying to do here. A man doesn't win when he's relaxed and thinks he's in control. A man wins when he thinks he's losing.
There it is.
Those punches just.
Boom, boom. Oh my God.
In the moment, I'm annoyed at that. Like, what the man?
But Samoa Joe with the palm strikes.
Classic pro wrestling technique, the open hand palm strikes. Bro, put your hands up. That's the first rule.
With each slap, you can see a mist of blood coming off the face of Necro Butcher.
Jesus.
If I had to pinpoint a time when my girlfriend at the time had left the match, it was where the blood was visibly flying into the crowd. She said she almost threw up, and then she decided to bounce. And that's the whole point of what I was doing. When you're dog walking somebody, it's not a pretty affair. And that's what that whole sequence
He just
was
like
about.
just
I've
picking
had
them up
enough.
and
I'm
knee
done
striking
with
them
this.
over and over.
It's time for you to die now.
And those are solid too.
Mm-hmm.
Laying
When
it
it-
in thick.
Now we're over halfway done, and it's like just keeps getting better each part.
Yeah. I mean, the nice
man.
thing too, I don't remember. I know IWA and IWA Mid-South were like a southern, more west thing. I don't recall them being too much in the Philly area, but I think this being in Philly definitely helped because it's like the home of Ring of Honor, and like
They said
Philly
this is at the ECW arena, I believe it was at.
yeah, and Philly fans are ruthless. It's
If they don't like what's going on, like they will tell you, get the fuck out of that building, get out.
definitely like they when The Rock came back and Reigns won the Rumble, that was in Philly, I think, and they booed The Rock out of the
Yeah.
building. It's like,
Yeah,
man.
I went back and watched it after. Like I went rewatch. I watched it live, but I went back and rewatched it, and they edited out all the boos.
Hilarious.
I'm like, if you can't take the criticism from the fans, like, what are you doing?
Right. I mean, the fans know what they want. And that's going back to our earlier conversation, man. Triple H and NXT was giving the fans what they want. And it's so easy to just do. Give the fans what they want and they'll be loyal.
No, definitely the black and gold era of NXT. Like that was just like every week there was a banger match on NXT. Like there's multiple sometimes.
Right. I wasn't faithfully watching at that point, but I remember the first time I really gave NXT a chance. There was a 2 out of 3 falls match with Cesaro and Sami Zayn, and it absolutely blew my mind.
Like you had Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. Hell, that was just to name a few just awesome guys that put on banger match. Ricochet, Aleister Black.
Right.
So it's like, what went wrong here?
It's just a shame. Like I was enjoying it and watching and investing in these guys. They get called up, and it's like, man, Karrion Kross is wearing a Viking helmet now. Brutal.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe from Necro.
This was not any ordinary wrestling match, so it wasn't going to end any ordinary way. Joe's here because he wants to be here. Necro has nothing to lose. So the story of Necro calling these spots that lead to his demise.
Stay down!
He's saying that I'm going to lose, but I'm going to go down swinging.
The lasting image of that match is the final strike. And Samoa Joe
Kick to
effectively
like
wins the
that
match
kick to the head.
by knocking Necro out.
What is unique about this finish is that it's, in essence, a technical knockout.
He didn't have to just pin him for 3 seconds. He kept him down for 10.
He just could not take any more beating.
No. And that's
He couldn't do it.
Samoa Joe gets the knockout. Knockout win for Samoa Joe.
Your great messiah of hardcore death has been stricken down. All justice has been served.
What a mess.
Though the match may be over, Joe gives Necro one last parting shot.
Oh, he's not done.
Brother was down there selling so long, so whatever there, I give him like the little kick in the head, just like I do. He popped right up and started swinging over the fences. And the monster arises again from the dead.
Really? Get out of here.
The hardcore Jesus is pissed.
I'm like, well, I can't leave you laying in a puddle. I mean, like, I thought it was important to leave the arena with him at least standing.
What a war between these two men.
If there's no fight in somebody, then there's nothing really there to care about. So it was imperative to me that we left Necro with the right kind of perception on him of being just one of the toughest on planet Earth.
Look at the blood, just like that. God.
That's really here, huh? Wow.
Everyone in the building knew that they had just witnessed something great. And when the fans finally got a chance to see it on video, it just intensified the buzz about the match on the internet.
How ironic that event was called Something to Prove, because that's exactly what I was trying to do, and I think that's exactly what I did. That night in Philly was special. I knew I'm never going to make it to Madison Square Garden. That was my Madison Square Garden. After that match, I was a made man in that building. And that's all I ever wanted.
You know, coming through the curtain in the post-match, it couldn't have been more, I mean, docile. You know, like, Necro came back, dapped him up.
I went to Joe immediately and thanked him. I obviously had tremendous amount of respect for him as a wrestler. He trusted the vision of what I had and helped me follow it through. Well, after the match, I had another show to do that evening in the same arena. So I had to go back down to the catacombs and put my skull back together and catch my breath and get ready to go out there and do it all over again.
And here comes the Butcher.
What the?
You think maybe he'd be tired, but no, he just kept going.
Excuse me.
He never went 80%. You know, he was always 110. It's a very heavy price taking suplexes to the floor, taking these bumps, and he did it because he had pride in what he was doing and he wanted to get to the next level. It certainly seemed to me that there was almost like a before and after for both of those guys.
And eventually earned Necro a regular spot in ROH for a couple of years.
Ring of Honor could not deny me any longer. Well, I was on every show for like 4 years.
He goes on to be in the movie The Wrestler in 2008.
Talk to me about it. What do you want to do tonight? Are you cool with the Staples?
Maybe it was a mainstream moment. They were gun. But at the time, I had more wrestling to do.
I was wondering where they're going to get to this. I was
We were in
wondering
this
when.
together as independent wrestlers. We were all trying just to set the world on fire with our wrestling. We were misfits, all of us. Even Joe was. We saw Samoa Joe's name getting bigger and bigger over time. There was a sense of pride. If any indie guy made it, we were all proud.
I finished up with ROH. I moved on to TNA Wrestling and then moved on to WWE. And now I currently find myself in All Elite Wrestling.
It was obvious back then what sort of trajectory that man was on. This was a trajectory that was closed to me.
Necro Butcher never got his WWE run, probably because he was such an outlaw. His home was independent wrestling, and so it's honestly not much of a surprise that that was where he really excelled.
Many independent wrestlers have gone on to have lauded careers all around the world. If you had asked me why maybe Necro wasn't a part of that pantheon of people, at the end of the day, it's just hard to put on a cereal box,
That's the thing about death matches, and
If
people just
Necro
don't
Butcher was on a
understand.
cereal box, I'd
They
buy it.
say that we make hot dogs and handshakes. I do believe that for Necro, the crowd would chant his name, and to a wrestler, having a crowd chant your name, sing your song, that means more to us than anything. You're not going to talk him out of what he loves. He loves wrestling.
I was going to Japan like 6 times a year. I'd go to Mexico a couple of times, Puerto Rico. And then in 2020, I had just come back from Japan, and I didn't know what was going on, but I knew I was really sick.
So I remember when I first seen him, thinking to myself, look at the weight that he lost. He had lost a lot of weight. Like a lot of weight. And I didn't understand. I didn't know what was going on.
He's passing the torch.
Shortly after that,
He
I
does
went
look
to
bad
visit
there.
him, took us out to eat. Right before I left, that's when he said, hey man, if I don't talk to you from this day on, just realize I always appreciated everything you did for me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm telling him, I'm like, if you want me to stay, I'll stay. And he's like, no. So that was when I found out that Necro had cancer.
I got my glow back with a body wash.
I didn't know Necro had cancer. I didn't know that.
I know he shaved his head, but I didn't know it was related to that. Yeah. But I don't know if you've seen a recent picture of him. He looks good though. Like at least what I believe are recent pictures.
Like this, apparently this is a recent what he looks like right now. Like with him, when they show him right now, he looks good for. He doesn't look like he looks good again.
Right. Yeah. No, he definitely does.
If I had to say one thing about cancer, it's fuck cancer.
Right.
Like we've lost too many people to cancer. Like not just in the wrestling world, but like hell,
in
just
general.
I've lost like celebrities I grew up watching, or I liked. Hodgkin's lymphoma. He had Hodgkin's lymphoma. Wow.
You got to think of all those years of
Stage
being
3.
tough and fighting and stuff. You got to wonder if that's what kept him fighting, because that takes a strong person to fight through something
It's like
that.
it's like he said at the very beginning of the episode. He was bullied as a kid, so he could take a lot of pain.
Yeah. Man, that is a tough battle.
Well, we have a comment. Do you think the Jeff Hardy story deserves a Dark Side of the Ring episode because of all of his addictions and triumphs? Yes and no. Yes and no.
Yeah. It's crazy because they already told the story of the TNA Victory Road thing from the TNA ones that they just released.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, there's a lot to unpack there in Jeff's history, especially the later years. What was that, 2008, 2009 in WWE? There was a lot to unpack there, but it's gotta suck when like the worst things in your life are coming out on TV. His rivalry with Punk there, talking about his drug addiction and alcohol addiction and everything, and then when he lost his house, his dog passed away, and Matt Hardy was talking about that. It's like, man,
And of course, if you talk about Jeff's history, you're gonna touch on Matt because like Matt's there with him. You're gonna have to touch on some of the stuff that was going on in Matt's life affected Jeff. So if you talk about Jeff, you're gonna have to bring up Matt's shit too.
and it's unfortunate because it's part of the beast. Growing up watching Jeff Hardy, it's like, man, he put himself through hell, and it's like no wonder people get addicted to just. It's not even. I don't even know if it's the painkillers. It's just the not feeling pain. I could understand why that would become addictive, especially like Yeah, I don't know if you do a lot of meet and greets, but I've met Jeff a couple times, and his
Mm-hmm.
walking
Yep.
is a little tough. So I can
Yeah,
only
I
imagine.
actually just met Matt for the first time back in February.
Super great
Uh,
guys, right?
yeah. If we have enough time, I'll tell my story real quick. So I don't know if you've heard of Battleground Podcast. He's based out of Nashville. He interviews a lot of current WWE guys, like currently signed to WWE, and he does a lot of stuff with TNA and WWE. Like, he does a lot of media for them, and I'm good friends with him. And he offered me some tickets to a TNA show in Nashville that weekend, and I said, "Yeah, cool, I'll take a ticket." Not only did he hook me up for one ticket, he hooked me up for four. And then, like, they were doing meet and greets for the Hardys, and I paid $100 to meet the Hardys, and a free ticket. Like, I got to see them wrestle plus meet them for only $100.
Yeah, that's a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt. Laying in bed for 9 months gives you plenty of time to reevaluate things, you know. Over the years, I've beat so many guys up, it's not even something I keep track of anymore. And then after a while, they just blend together. Looking back, with the Samoa Joe match, let's be honest, that's what people are going to remember about me. Quite honestly, I'm baffled sometimes. People talk about this match that weren't even alive when we did it. I'm still very flattered by it.
It is one of the greatest brawls you will ever see.
It's a time capsule, man.
Oh,
If people want to know
cool.
how
That
the
is cool.
independents
That is
were
cool.
from 2000 to 2010, that was it. They made a moment for all of us on the indies, man. Because I tell you right now, more people started booking those kind of matches. They were the spark.
Just how believable that brawl was
Next
is
week, the
something
Big Boss
that young
Man.
wrestlers now draw inspiration for what a fight could be like.
It's wild that so many people have loved and enjoyed and taken pleasure from watching this. I just never would have imagined would have taken on the life that it has. It's cool that that was part of my journey. It's neat.
As he wages his battle with cancer, the Necro Butcher discovers a new outlook.
When I was in the bed, I found something that was unshakable, and that was myself. In the game of life, you're not in charge of where you start on the board. The only thing you're in control of is when you quit. It's going to hurt, you're going to suffer, but you have to believe in yourself. And if you can't believe you can do it, then you're suffering for nothing. We did 3 cycles of chemo with no improvement. And they said, all right, if we don't see improvement on the 4th one, we're going to quit. And that's going to be that. And when you know it, that 4th one took. And then got back into wrestling.
That is one tough
This is the
SLB.
guy that I have seen go through the craziest bumps that you could ever think about and walk away unscathed. But look at him today. He beat cancer. His hip exploded. He beat that. Still punching people in the face. That puts him solid in the bad mother club.
You know, I'm not moving around great right now, but I'm moving around pretty good for age 52.
He's
I'm
only
still out there on the
52?
road.
What?
I'm motivated. I just had a rough match last
Jesus.
week. About died.
Oh my god.
I understand the way we look back at things, the further they get in the mirror.
It's June 11th, 2005, here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
That night in Philadelphia. It was my most immediate and important event in my life. Yeah, wow. What does any artist want but for his art to be remembered fondly? And I think we're past the point of this being remembered more than fondly. So thank you, Samoa Joe. Thank you.
The feeling is mutual. The thanks is mutual. He managed to take a random afternoon that I was not expecting would be what it was. And it's become kind of a touchstone for inspiration in the great zeitgeist of wrestling. You know, to me, I think that's when pro wrestling can be at its very best.
Listen to the crowd, I won him over with my ability to not quit. And that's the message I try to tell people. I haven't quit, so you better not either. I've had so many horrible things happen to me when I was young. I just wanted to belong and not be by myself. And I wanted to connect with other people that had the same passions I did. Just appreciate the fine art that is professional wrestling. And then to contribute to that fine art, well, what more could a man ask for?
Wow.
That was awesome. That was awesome. That was an awesome episode. I don't know if there's words. I don't know if there's words.
Yeah. Just went through an hour, and I still wanna know more. Incredible. Like we were. Yeah, there was like 3 minutes to go. I was like, wow, how are they gonna wrap this up? And it's like they did, but I still want more. Like,
There's got to be I'm sure there's other places you can go watch more history of it, read more history of it.
right.
I don't know if you saw it. It's like close to the end where they show like someone made 2 action figures, a Necro figure and a Samoa Joe, and they recreated it in figure form. And then someone made a comic of it. I'm like, someone appreciated this enough. Someone like they saw it like I want to show I appreciate what they did for this.
I really love the custom figures because the amount of I've made a couple, not to that level, but the amount of work that puts in it, that's got to be put into it. It shows that fan really cares about that wrestler to make. They take hours to make. They're not easy to do, so that means something to people.
So, what are your final thoughts on the Dark Side of the Ring episode with Necro and Joe?
I think it was very well put together. I wish Ian would have been on to talk a little bit about the promoting.
Yeah.
Because when you hear about the biggest matches of all time, it's like I want to hear Vince talk about Rock versus Austin, Hogan versus Andre. Like I want to see what led to it. And I mean, it seemed like there was just a fierce passion for this match to happen, and I guess it was fan driven, but what it actually took to make it happen would have been cool to find out. But yeah,
It would have.
The episode was incredible, just like everything Vice does. Dark Side of the Ring. This one was more of a upbeat. I wouldn't say it was like out of character for a Vice Dark Side of the Ring, but usually it's like this terrible tragedy, then this happened, and kind of a spiral. This one was pretty upbeat up until the end there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm glad Vice did this, Dark Side of the Ring did this, because nobody can make an episode like they can. But yeah, it was just something very different than I'm used to with them.
And I'm gonna keep going back to this. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me say this, but the way they just kept showing more and more footage of the match, of the moments from that match. Plus, they have the reenactment parts too. But the way they were able to mash it together, like show the real versus the reenactment. That's art. It's just art.
They do such a good job with their hiring of like stunt doubles and performers, to where some of these episodes, it's like, wow, it's like it almost looks like the wrestler doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like man.
I've heard rumors. I don't know how true these rumors are. That they get some guys. They sometimes get indie wrestlers or just wrestlers in general to play the stunt doubles.
Yeah, I can imagine it. It's just they do such a good job matching the body type and the hair type and the makeup. And you got to think, I don't know how much money they make on these documentaries. I know there's a whole line, not just wrestling. There's drugs, there's crime, there's all different kinds of Vice documentaries. And it's so incredible the amount of work that they put. And I've seen interviews with those guys, and they're the ones who run Dark Side of the Ring are wrestling fans. And I think they're doing a service to other wrestling fans, because if it was somebody coming in like Fox, ABC, NBC, some a news corporation that says we're going to make documentaries, I don't think it would be a tenth as good as what these guys are doing.
Not at all. No. Like the way they always bring in people that were there, like that they were there live. They had brought in Bryce, they brought in the ref, they brought in Pondo, they brought in Joe Butcher. Like they brought in people that were there that night for that match, like Eddie Kingston. I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised they didn't get Punk, because they said Punk was there.
Yeah, I could imagine it'd be tough. I don't know if he'd want to be associated with something outside of WWE right now. I can only imagine how tough it would be to get clearance on it, because I'm sure that it would have to be
stuff for like some of the. He does commentary for this one MMA thing, so I don't know. I honestly I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but they did such a good job with this
They
and
did
all their
overall.
episodes.
Like, if I had to give this out of a 10, it'd be 11. It'd be an 11.
It was great. Yeah, definitely great.
And I appreciate you had some awesome input. I want to say thank you to everyone who left a comment or that wanted to put in their information that they knew. So I love this episode. I would love to do some more. Like I plan to. I just did the one on Jeff Jarrett, and this is my second watch along of a Dark Side of the Ring documentary. So I love this. I want to keep this going with not just. I'm willing to have anyone on them. I love the comments. Like I want to keep this going, and I just want to say thank you, Adam, for coming on with me and co-hosting with me tonight.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I had a great time. If you, I know this was sort of a super last minute change up. I appreciate you working with me, but man, I think this worked out better than what we had planned. And anytime you don't have anybody to come on and help out again, feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to come on and watch some more Dark Side.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever seen the ending of an episode of the Media Mania Podcast, you know how this goes. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, as always, the Media Maverick Mike Wilson. This has been my awesome co-host, Adam Warfel. And as always, make sure you catch us on the flip side.